Hello, my name is Lola, and I'm going to be reacting to Con Air by Nostalgia Critic. As I'm recording this, I just want to say thank you because I've reached over 100 subscribers, and I just want to take a moment to really thank you, everyone who's liked, commented, and subscribed to my channel. Just thank you. I'm so appreciative, grateful, uh, and just thankful to all y'all. You know, I I would have never thought I would have gotten that many subscribers, honestly. Uh, like I said, thank you. And anyway, Con Air. It's been a long, long time since I've seen this movie. Like I remember I was a kid and I saw this movie and I was like, oh my god, this movie is awesome. Like I actually thought for a second that like, oh my god, this movie is like the best action movie ever and it's probably better than Die Hard. But now I don't think that. I do think it's still awesome though. Anyway, let's see what the Nostalgia Critic has to say about it. And if you want to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, you can. Or if you don't want to, that's fine too. I just do this for fun. Here we go.
This episode brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, the mobile RPG done right.
About the coffee. That's a cool.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. There's a certain magic to Nicolas Cage movies. Okay, not all of them, but there's a certain magic to most Nicolas Cage movies.
Whoa.
There's a certain magic to early Nicolas Cage movies. He's one of those actors that whether in good films or bad films or whatever Mandy was, you can't help but love the dude. With his bizarre performances ranging from chaotic screaming to half-awake mumbling, you can't argue he doesn't just do his own thing and never apologizes for it. Not that any of us want him to apologize. And the time period you could argue was the decade of the Cage was definitely the 90s. True, he had some hits and memorable moments in the 2000s, but the 90s is where he seemed particularly on fire. Even more than when he was actually on fire. Whatever you think of his movies from other decades, the world of entertainment loves 90s Nicolas Cage. I'll prove it to you. Hey Tamara.
Yeah?
Can you go to Hollywood for me?
What for?
I want you to praise a 90s Nicolas Cage movie just because.
Really?
Yes, do Con Air.
Oh my god, that would be amazing!
Stand on the street praising his greatness and await further instructions.
Woo-hoo!
Hey, can I go to Hollywood too?
No, you get a cookie.
Ow! Ow!
Why?
Today's review is Terms of Endearment.
Huh? What?
Or I guess Con Air makes more sense after all that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Released in 1997, Cage shared the main stage with other big actors at the time, John Malkovich and John Cusack, but it turns out this movie was the taxi of action films as practically everybody in it went on to success, including Steve Buscemi, Ving Rhames, Danny Trejo, Miami? O'Brien, Monica Potter, Kelty Williamson, Rachel Ticotin, and even Dave Chappelle. I guess it makes sense to put so many big and crazy performances together so that Cage seems like the least crazy out of all of them. Directed by Simon West, the same guy who did Tomb Raider, Expendables 2, and no shit, Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up
Really?
video. This is exactly what you would expect from a guy who directed Tomb Raider, Expendables 2, and no shit, Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up video. It's over the top, filled with energy, covered in more 90s cheese than a Ninja Turtles pasta dinner. It's everything you would expect and want out of a movie like this. There's a lot to enjoy, so let's take flight. This is...
Say, might I perchance request some cookies?
Jesus Christ.
It's a Bruckheimer production. How else would this start? Oh, speaking of which, this is Con Air.
No joke. I totally forgot how many people were in this movie. Jesus. And you know how movies like they're labeled as cursed because like they brought bad luck to everybody who was involved. This movie seems like it's the opposite of that. Like everybody went on to star in bigger things. Like wow, like whatever the reverse of that. This is what Con Air was. Jesus.
The film opens with Cage playing Army Ranger Cameron Poe returning home after being honorably discharged. Here's footage of the ceremony. He meets up with his wife Trisha at work, who's excited to start their new life together.
You kidding me? You gonna be Miss Alabama? Well, that makes your daddy very proud.
How many times have I told you I'm not pregnant? Oh, who am I kidding? I'd be more concerned if Nicolas Cage didn't greet me like this. But trouble comes a-brewing.
Hey, how about joining me and the boys for Coleman, huh, darling?
Oh, thank you, gentlemen, but I'm taken.
This is a special occasion. If you don't mind, I'd like to spend it dancing with my wife.
Yeah, you'll notice Cage has sort of a Raising Alabama accent in this. His southern voice is kind of like if Keanu Reeves from The Devil's Advocate ate Foghorn Leghorn.
Tube of toothpaste and 2 packs of Pall Malls at the canteen.
He's been a terrible husband to all 3 of his wives.
I got locked down 3 months before she was born.
Why, I don't want to keep you from guarding the chickens.
It's not especially good, but I'm not gonna tell him, are you? In a somewhat confusing scene, they're attacked by that group of drunks and Poe kills one of them in self-defense. But since he's advised to plead guilty, he gets even more time than what his lawyer said he would get.
Admit to it. Serve maybe a year.
You shall remain incarcerated 7 to 10 years.
I'll see your and raise you a... what? I don't know. I'm sure it's the same judge who put John Spartan away. All is fair and means to an end, court.
Now, prison life is very structured, more than most people care for. But there's a spirit of camaraderie that exists between the men.
As the credits roll, years go by and Poe's daughter writes to him. He lovingly responds, somehow including his clunky accent in every letter.
Dear Casey, it was so good to read your letter.
Dear Daddy, today was my first day at first grade. I didn't like it. Mama says I have to go back. Tell her not to make me.
Dear Casey, I am in prison. Nut up, Daddy.
Dear Daddy, are you ever coming home?
Dear Casey.
Why did you write me one sentence? That was weird.
Enough time passes, though, and it looks like he's finally being released. His bunkmate Baby O, Bubba O weirdly sounds better, is ecstatic for him.
Yeah, but like at this new prison you're going to, who's gonna watch your back?
God's got my back.
I'm going home, son!
What, did Bubba squeeze his nads off screen?
I'm going home, son!
For his safety, they place him on a prison plane with the most dangerous criminals in the world as 2 cops oversee the transport. One named Larkin, played by John Cusack, and the other named Malloy, played by Az Kicker. Yeah, sounds like the personalized plate of a Trekkie. A cop is being snuck on to try and get one of the prisoners to confess some information, leading to one of the coolest scenes in a movie like this, the lineup. Yeah, you know this routine. Fast editing, slow-mo footage, and verbal backgrounds about the badasses you're about to see.
That's William Bedford, a.k.a. Billy Bedlam. Caught his wife in bed with another man. Killed her parents, her brothers, her sisters, even her dog. Nathan Joe. He wrote a book in prison called Reflections in a Diamond Eye. They're talking to Denzel for the movie.
These scenes are always so awesome. You could replace the characters with anybody and it'd still be intimidating.
Cyrus Grissom, a.k.a. Cyrus the Virus. Kidnapping, robbery, murdering.
Arthur Reed attends 3rd grade at Lakewood Elementary. Plays the piano, wears a yellow cotton sweater, nearsighted since birth. Buster Baxter, Arthur's best friend. Obsessed with aliens, owns an amateur detective business, plays the tuba. Profited off the now multi-million-dollar holiday, Baxter Day. Pal. Pal's a dog. Owned by an aardvark.
This is why you're here! Figure out how this is possible!
I don't know.
Oh man, it smells like so much shit in your mouth.
Told me he loved me.
Dave Chappelle. He's in Rotten Tomato prison for not using woke jokes. Hold your tweets, we need him alive!
Hey, Larkin, who's that guy? That is Cameron Poe, a parolee hitching a ride home.
He just got picked up for a Pantene Pro V commercial. He's getting some practice.
What you looking at, punk?
Nothing, I was just admiring your cage.
You hear that? Nicolas Cage is admiring a cage. I expect 5 memes in the next 3 minutes, internet, go!
All right.
Welcome aboard.
Oh.
My, as I look around, I see a lot of celebrities among us.
Christ, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Oh, stewardess, what's the in-flight movie today?
It's called I'll Never Make Love to a Woman on the Beach Again, and it's preceded by the award-winning short, No More Steak for Me, Ever.
I have literally waited hours for someone to ask me that. Thank you for allowing me to do my routine.
Hope this goes smoothly. All those monsters on one plane.
Please, Jenny, this is a well-oiled machine.
Boy, Cusack, been holding that one in long?
Lousy bitch taking all the Doritos from the break room. Here's my chance to snap at her.
Please, Jenny, this is a well-oiled machine.
You know who else was concerned about stuff? Hitler! But
Yeah, look at
something
what
does go
happened.
wrong, as one of the prisoners named Cyrus the Virus, played by John Malkovich, teams up with some of his other prisoners and breaks out, taking the guards hostage and freeing the inmates.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
As much as I mock Malkovich's acting in other films, he really is perfect in this. His brilliantly pretentious yet childish nature makes him a perfect foil to Cage's simple yet grown-up demeanor.
You lost your mind? According to my last psych evaluation. Yes.
And yeah, seeing how this is a Bruckheimer production, we really should do a count of how many shots were made just to go before the title in a commercial.
Welcome to Con Air.
But the cop that snuck on uses his gun to try and take control of the plane.
The next time you choose a human shield, you're better off not picking a 2-bit Negro crackhead.
Hey! I might turn that into a character. Thanks, Galbatorix! Poe tries to talk him down, saying he's gonna get everyone killed, resulting in the cop getting shot, but even worse, getting a disappointed Cage face. That's less of a guy who just saw someone get murdered and more of a guy who thought,
I just missed the breakfast baconator at Wendy's.
They discover that 3 prisoners they need to drop off on ground have been killed, though, meaning their cover will be blown when they land.
We are 3 white guys short. Or as they say in Ebonics, we be fucked.
Wow! That's some heavy 90s! They get 3 volunteers to impersonate the prisoners, while in Cyrus's cell, Larkin finds the original Da Vinci Code.
That car.
Mr. Enigma. Cyrus is the Riddler.
Stay here. Don't touch anything.
They also discover a box that says, "Do not open."
What are you doing? Just leave it alone. I told you not to touch anything.
You dumb mother...
He's a cop. What do we know? If that was Joan Cusack, you don't listen.
All of you stay here. Do not touch anything. Well, that's what they get for not getting me a Malibu, Barbie.
Cyrus exchanges the prisoners for even deadlier ones, gaining a pilot but losing a Chappelle. Wait! Memes, please.
You see, despite a Cage, still just admiring your Cage. You know the difference between me and that Cage? It works to stay in prison while I work to stay out of prison. If I fought that Cage, would it be a cage match? Might I offer some Cage advice? One Cage to another when you've been slammed more than actual Cage. Wow.
Congratulations, you have passed Means 101. Please collect a sweating Jordan Peele as your diploma.
Nobody on this aircraft gives a flying fuck. Get it? Flying fuck? Thank you. I'm here all week.
I really should have kept Chappelle.
Yeah.
Oh, who am I kidding? He would have quit anyway. Meanwhile, on the ground, the 2 angry cops do what angry cops always do in these movies.
Be angry!
You little shit, you got my agent killed.
He brought a gun on board and he got himself killed. And in doing so, he compromised the safety of my men.
Your men are incompetent!
These characters are such archetypes, you can put them in any situation and they disagree about everything.
What do you want for lunch? I don't know. Pizza?
What do you think you're doing, Kerfluffle?
My job, and apparently yours, O'Bennigans.
You have no idea.
What's wrong with pizza? Come on,
This
man.
operation was botched the minute you showed up.
You have no right, Kerfluffle.
No right!
What about the rights of my dead partner?
Fine, we'll do delivery, but no carry out.
Fine.
Doug looks weird with hair, dude. He looks weird.
What kind of toppings were you thinking? I don't know. Pineapple?
That just ain't right, Kerfluffle!
What about the rights of my dead partner?
Nope.
One of the new prisoners is a child serial killer named Garland Green, played by Steve Buscemi. Because let's face it, only Steve Buscemi could play this role in 1997.
What do you want to do with him?
I don't know, but this is no way to treat a national treasure.
Thank you. It was critically underrated.
They set him free and get on the radio with
He
the
does
2
look
cops
crazy.
on the ground.
Listen, Grissom, you puny fucking animal!
Hey, I don't like him. If he speaks again, this conversation is terminated.
That was a great impression of Twitter.
Where are you going with my plane, Cyrus?
We're going to Disneyland.
You're lying, Cyrus.
You know, Touchstone is a Disney property. Maybe?
We will be flying over the shores of Mexico, but first we have to change aircraft. Thank you, and have a pleasant flight.
Yeah.
Larkin puts together that Poe might be staying on the plane to save the few good people still on it. But
I am authorized to bring Agent Sims killers to justice.
When exactly did this become a DEA jurisdiction?
The second the DEA agent was murdered.
We're going with black olives.
Oh, why does it have to be black olives instead of white olives?
There's no such thing.
Wrong. They are found in Portugal, east across the Mediterranean.
But not on pizza.
You're not on pizza.
You're right.
What about the rights of my dead partner?
Did you even have a partner?
No, because he's dead.
Okay. We all know how this ends. Whoever's better looking and has a more likable personality is going to live. The other gets blown up.
Huh. Well, I think we all know how this is going to turn out. Oh, say goodbye to my wife and kid.
Wait, do you even have a wife and kid?
No, because they're dead!
And I gotta say, Steve Buscemi totally stole the show, man, with the second he showed up. Oh my god, man.
Introducing Raid Shadow Legends! Raid is a mobile RPG done right! Not every RPG game must be cartoony and cutesy! Enough with candy, rainbows, unicorns, and bright colors! Get real!
So something appears to be wrong with the landing gear, and it looks like Chappelle has something to do with it.
So that's what happened to Pinball! Cut him loose! Not exactly a proper burial.
I mean, a dummy that poorly made should at least be buried with some dignity. Poe writes a message on him, and they kick him out of the plane.
Oh, boy. You see that? Every time we get a wax.
A Mark Twain Award winner falls from the sky and lands on my car. Last week, Neil Simon fell on my Cadillac. Larkin gets Poe's wife and daughter in his office to see if they can figure out why he would choose to stay on the plane.
It's not uncommon that some parolees actually fear their release date. Fear of coming home, fear of living in society.
My daddy's afraid of coming home, whatever. Crayons!
He's got this little girl to come home to.
To be a pretty strong reason to keep me on that plane.
Mommy, I like hearing we may never know why daddy abandoned us. Crayons!
Speaking of which, one of the inmates finds that Poe lied as he was going to be let go when the plane landed.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
the bunny back in the box.
I think it's safe to say that line was only written because they knew Nicolas Cage was going to say it. I mean, if Arnold was there, it'd be a batch of cookies and he would say,
"Put that cookie down! Now!"
The two of them squat fight. That's a thing now. And Poe impales him on a pipe.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
Again, if it was Arnold,
Who told you you can eat my cookies?
so Poe smells his hands, as we finally get some dialogue from the much built-up child killer.
What if I told you Insane was working 50 hours a week in some office for 50 years, at the end of which they tell you to piss off?
I'd say sorry you worked corporate at Toys R Us. I bet a lot of you turned out this way.
One girl, I drove through 3 states wearing her head as a hat.
You just snuck aboard this movie, didn't you? Like, you were shooting a remake of M next door, and suddenly you're like, I want to invade a Dumb Bruckheimer film. And nobody was brave enough to turn you away. Well, all I can say is, well done. You're making Nicolas Cage look like the normal guy. The plane lands on an airfield in the middle of nowhere to grab another plane to complete their escape.
Thank God the innocents were spared.
Larkin arrives in secret at the location while Cyrus gets ready to kill the guards, but Poe again intervenes.
Well, it's not difficult to surmise how Nathan here feels about killing guards, and my own proclivities are well-known and often lamented facts of penal lore.
That is the most John Malkovich thing I have ever heard John Malkovich say. There is no way the writer of this film came up with that line. It must have been written by the foppish one himself.
How dare you, Critic? How dare you think I would impose my creative intellectual endowment on somebody else's creative endeavors?
Oh, really, Malkovich? You're telling me that was always the line from the movie?
Yes. True, I may have improvised a little bit off script, but it's still the general ballpark.
What was the original line?
Well, naturally, I keep the scripts of all my masterpieces on my phone. Here we are. So in the movie, when I say,
Surmise how Nathan here feels about killing guards, and my own proclivities are well-known and often lamented facts of penal lore.
In the original script, it was, all right. Again, same general ballpark.
Well, you're certainly dedicated coming into this review wearing a prison costume.
Oh, this isn't a costume.
Oh. Then
I was asked to do Bird Box 2.
Ah. And I take it you said yes?
No. But I thought about it. That was enough.
Poe's right. So get back there and dig the plane out.
Yeah.
But not everybody is looking so lucky.
Hi, what's your name? Wanna play?
What hat size are you? Larkin runs into Poe and they both explain their situation.
There's only two men I trust. One of them's me, the other's not you.
You're not such a bad guy, just always in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's what my agent's been telling me recently.
What are you gonna do for me?
What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save the fucking day.
Hell yeah.
I am so hard.
It looks like some of the inmates were trying to steal the plane that everybody was going to use, but the rest of the inmates stopped them, crashing into a gas station.
Sai! Anara.
Must run with the most intense indifference only the cage man can give.
Damn! Yep. Not gonna lie, that's an awesome shot.
Roadrunner's coming right at us.
Wanna sing? He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world.
I have great parents.
Yeah, it's like, where are your
Garland
parents?
successfully transforms into a Peter Lorre cartoon. It looks like the cavalry arrives, so our inmates have to think fast about how to fight them off.
This is the boneyard. This is the hangar. This is our plane.
This is how Malkovich tells the story of Peter Rabbit to his kids.
What's that?
That's a rock.
Well, that's a different Cage Bruckheimer production.
At least they're progressive criminals?
Get him in there. Think of any trouble, kill him.
What can I do?
Hop in a birthday cake and don't pop out until you hear Dear Cyrus. The inmates take out a good chunk of the cops and get back on the plane to take off, accidentally taking Malloy's car with them. It's okay, my vehicle's in hot pursuit.
On any other day, that might seem strange.
Over 20 years later, that's still one of the funniest lines I've ever heard.
Yep.
Garland gets on the plane as well, and oh look, the kid's okay. You can find your folks in the fridge. Poe's note from his daughter is discovered though, but Baby O takes the rap saying he's the one that's been lying.
It's pretty clever, huh, bitch?
No, that's clever.
He's sick.
It's really not. That's the best line a criminal genius could come up with at that point?
Often lamented facts of penal
fine.
lore.
My daddy is coming home on July 14th. My birthday is
July 14th.
I don't have to mock Malkovich's voice. He's doing a pretty good impression right now.
July 14th. Make a move and the bunny gets it.
Not the bunny.
Was there a rush to finish writing your lines in the last third of this movie?
To my own proclivities are...
You know what? I'll take it. They get chased by more cops as Baby O seems to be on his way out.
There ain't no God. He don't exist. Hey, where you going?
I'm gonna show you God does exist.
I'm gonna star in Left Behind. That'll prove to you God exists and prove to me that he doesn't. I'm so angry I'm not even gonna flinch when you shoot me. I will, however, let out a passionate "Owie!"
The plane makes it to the Vegas Strip, which officially makes this part of the Cave Vegas Holy Trinity, as of course they have no choice but to land on the Strip.
Well, viva Las Vegas.
got the whole
Is it in Buscemi's contract that when doing a Bruckheimer film, he has to be strapped to a chair acting crazy?
Seems like
I'd just like to say, as cool and awesome and badass as this scene is, we could have been touching down at Disneyland. Just say it's a spin-off of their blockbuster giant. Not the Sands! It had hours of life ahead of it!
Whoa, what?
I love how a spinning propeller slicing through a metal wall is met with a comfortable step backwards. We couldn't even get a Malkovich soliloquy out of that? In recent memory of late, I cannot recall an action that signified such... Oh, never mind. Fun fact, that guitar is heard literally when Cage gets up every morning. But cartoony Malkovich gets away, and I guess that's just material for the sequel.
Hey, Paul. Next time, take the bus.
So that was Con Air, a goofy but still pretty enjoyable action flick. How are we still going? Yeah, despite this perfectly good spot to end and even a decent runtime of an hour 40 minutes, the film decides to go an extra 8 minutes with a completely pointless fire truck chase.
No, how you gonna waste
Thank
the
God
donut?
police always leave keys on their bikes. Away!
Alright, so here's the thing. I have no problem having an extra end battle. Hell, James Cameron practically made a living perfecting that. But it has to either outdo or at the very least match the previous action sequence you just had. And in all honesty, this climax kinda sucks. Not the idea of a fire truck chase, though granted it's not as cool as a fucking plane landing. But look at how it's edited. Look how sloppy it's paced and how hard it is to make out. It's almost like it realizes this is a waste of time and tries to get it over with as quickly as possible. Hell, look at this edit after Cyrus flies off the truck. Is that at all how he fell or where he landed? I swear, I'm not re-editing that. This is literally the two shots back to back, and they make no sense. And for a criminal mastermind, he couldn't put together that the best way to avoid this incredibly slow-moving squasher was to move his head? I know he's tired, but the lean forward was too much for his brain to process?
It's not difficult to surmise how...
Got it! This is the only part of the movie I consider lame. And it only gets lamer every time I see it. I honestly think you would have a faster and more fitting ending if you simply showed us this.
Cyrus. Chris.
I'd be satisfied. In a weird way, I'd be satisfied.
Just freaking rickroll the audience. That would be so funny. But yeah, that is a lame way for a bad guy to go. That would be like if if they just just in Die Hard, just shot and killed von what's his name? No, Hans Gruber. Just shoot him and oh, that's it. That's so lame. What?
Poe saves the bunny from the sewer and thanks Larkin for his help.
There's now 3 men I trust.
Am I one of them?
No, it's the bunny. The second is that chimp I watched in Ghost Rider. Tell me you're surprised.
Hello, Cameron.
He finds his wife and kid and finally gets her the toy.
I got a present for you, Casey.
I like bears.
No, honey, it's okay.
I got a picture of you.
And it's still a better bunny than what you got.
What the frick is that?
This was fun to search. So everybody seems to get a happy ending. Even psychopaths bound to kill countless amounts of children.
New shooter coming out.
Wow.
New shooter. Does the new shooter feel lucky?
Yes, yes he does.
And that was Con Air. Unless, is there a climax with a sewage truck or something? No, it's real this time. This is a super enjoyable, mindless flick. It's not deep, it's not groundbreaking. If it was never made, cinema wouldn't suffer a major loss, but it's just fun. All the actors look like they're having a ball, the setup is creative, it's got plenty of laughs. With the exception of that unneeded action sequence, it's a good time all the way through. It's nice to see a Cage action flick that's enjoyably crazy, and he's not the enjoyably crazy part about it. If anything, he's almost the voice of reason. It's rare to see an over-the-top film that he's not over-the-top in, and it surprisingly works here. So buckle up and take to the skies with this goofy but definitely fun 90s hit. The only part that got under my skin, though, was never delivering on that Steve Buscemi character. I know that's part of the joke, but it just didn't seem satisfying to me. It just seems weird to build up something so early on, yet never give a payoff.
I think he's forgotten all about this.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that feeling too.
My own proclivities are well-known and often lamented facts of people.
Yeah, that movie was fun, man. Like, for real, I forgot how many people were in this. Like, holy crap. Like, everybody got on to do bigger, better things after that movie. That's crazy. And, yeah, he is right. Like, the ending and, like, how they kill off the villain, the bad guy, the main bad guy, like, man, that's pretty lame. And I was really hoping that, like, man, like, we would catch up with all the inmates and you know, that one cop and, like, you know, see what they were doing. Instead, it just focused on Poe and Steve Buscemi's character. Like, man, like, what were the rest of them doing? Like, it seemed like that was what they were going to go into when they showed Steve Buscemi's character first, you know. Well, anyway, still a good movie though. Really gotta go see that again. Anyway, that's my reaction to Con Air by Nostalgia Critic. Everyone take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.